模方教室 meaning cubing classroom is a new Moyu sub-brand for producing budget cubes for beginner and intermediate cubers while incorporating modern technology into the cubes. From the looks of it, they are going to make one cube for every WCA event, and so far they have released a 3x3 and a 5x5, which seem to be enhanced versions of the Guanlong and HuaChuang respectively. The Cubing Classroom MF5s can be bought at $22 from CubeWorks. Externally, it resembles a HuaChuang GTS, measuring 64mm across with 14mm outer layers and 12mm inners, and sporting the Florian look. Out of the box, the cube has a mixed feel between the HuaChuang and the Yixing. It has the HuaChuang scratchiness and the lightweight layers of the Yixing. Just after one solve and a few sample turns, it could already corner cut at the level of HuaChuang or HuaChuang in both directions, forward and reverse. After a week of breaking in, the feel is somewhat smooth, with hints of crunchiness. The cube is also decently fast. Corner cutting matches a modern 5x5, going almost 45 forward and almost a full piece in reverse. This has actually been done before in quite a number of 5x5s, including the HuaChuang, HuaChuang, HuaChuang and HuaChuang GTS. The only cube that doesn't seem to corner cut so much forward is the Yixing. As for stability, the MF5s is about the same as the Yixing. Deformation locks can be forced quite easily, but they do not really occur that often in the solve, and even if they do occur, most of the time they're not much of an annoyance. Just like the HuaChuang GTS, the inner layers have bigger than normal holes, and in comparison, the Yixing and HuaChuang have much smaller holes inside, and this allows the MF5s to turn much more fluidly on the inner layers. The bigger than normal Florian holes on the MF5s makes the inner layers much more fluid, but it may sacrifice the stability in comparison to something like a HuaChuang or HuaChuang. Personally, I prefer the fluid inner layers over an overly stable cube. Currently, the best 5x5 on the market is no longer one single cube, but a group of cubes, and you should pick one based on your personal preferences. If you're a violent and aggressive turner, you should go for something like a HuaChuang or HuaChuang, where the cube is much more stable. And if you like to turn very lightly and quickly, you should go for a more flexible cube like HuaChuang GTS or MF5. And also, if you're a casual 5x5 cuber, the MF5 is the best because it's the cheapest among all these. The mechanism of the MF5s very closely resembles the Moyi HuaChuang. Both cubes adopt the double center design, locking the corners, midges and centers into an internal 3x3 independent of the second and fourth layers. The idea that the MF5s is a modern remake of the HuaChuang is further supported when we look at the pieces. MF5s has taken in modern design elements like wider outer layers and added anti-sticky tracks, while retaining the double anchor and double center designs of the HuaChuang. One thing to note about the double anchor is that the upper anchor has been enlarged to a ridiculous extent, such that it's much bigger than the lower anchor, and it eats away a bit of the corner stock. The proportion vastly affects the wing pieces. The HuaChuang wings have big blocky bases, which serve as a strong defense against popping. The MF5s brings that to another level. However, I think that enlarging the upper anchor doesn't really help as much with the deformation lock as it does to pops, and on a more personal scale, I think Moyi should have just retained the HuaChuang proportions. And the HuaChuang has been one of my favorite 5x5s with an interesting and unique mechanism. The cube's biggest downfall is its proportional outer layers and small size, making it hard to control during the 3x3 stage. And of course, it is a very expensive 5x5, coming in at $55 from CubeWorks. The MF5s has solved both the HuaChuang's problems as a budget cube with wide outer layers. To some extent, the MF5s does deserve the name of HuaChuang GT. However, the feel actually resembles the Yixing 5x5 more. I prefer the fast flexi feel of the MF5s and HuaChuang slightly more than the solid, stable feel of the HuaChuang and HuaChuang, and the MF5s has a good chance of taking over as my main.